I'm currently working on fully remaking Fable in Unreal Engine 5 as a minimum viable product that consists of the first hour of the game at the very least. For this, I am making the map fully loadless, remaking and improving all of the systems, and adding custom features and gameplay moments. Now let's get into the updates. The first thing I wanted to do was start getting the Starter Oakvale environment set up and ready for content development. So I finished porting the level into the project. I then started replacing all the environmental and foliage assets in the region. I think at this point I learned that it would honestly be faster and better if I would just make the regions from scratch using a custom terrain and placing details by hand. I don't really have any regions left to do this for the MVP, but it is a lesson learned if I continue this remake after that. I still don't know how efficient the foliage system actually is, so I kind of just started going crazy with detail and then scaled back the details to get a good frame rate. I think I need to lower the resolution of textures more than anything else of the foliage to get the frame rate more manageable, as all the textures for foliage are 4K textures, when they don't really need to be that high. I'll optimize that soon enough though. Last episode, I wanted to swap out the UE5 mannequin with the Hero of Oakvale model, but ran out of time. So I wanted to tackle this as soon as I could to ensure it was done this month. I fixed a few issues with the model swap, and I started getting the basic animations. I spent about an hour getting all 700 animations from the hero exported into the project. They were not set up yet though, so I started work on the animation tree by adding blend animations for the walk, jog, run animations, depending on your player's speed. Then I added an idle animation and started getting the random idle animation set up as well. As I was setting this up with logic in the tree to account for if it is raining, snowing, hot, or other factors that can make different animations play, I stopped on the progress. This will end up being the most complex animation tree I've ever set up before. Not only did I need to learn UE5 animation system better, but I also needed to study animation behavior trees in general to ensure I was doing this as well as possible. So I paused on this task and would practice on other objects and creatures first before coming back. As stated before, I still need to get all the dynamic objects into the scene as well, particularly the skeletal meshes that have animations such as doors, beds, chandeliers, and flags. I did this for the Starter Oakvale for right now. I started by just exporting all of the doors and beds. The doors worked out well, and even getting the animations for them was pretty easy. For some reason though, the beds have just horrible UVs. I don't know why this happened. Even the one bed here that seems to be correct is not exactly correct, as you can see from the side here. So I'll probably need to take these to Blender and correct them myself soon enough. But I got them into Oakvale scene and added door animations to keep certain houses open or closed. One really important feature of Fable and the first quest is alignment, which is the scale used to decide if your hero is good or evil. As a child, the hero can do good or evil things to collect money, so I added in a system to add or remove alignment points. This was done pretty similar to the money system, however there will not be a pickup for it. So I made these trigger boxes to test the system being invoked correctly as well as the UI. Even the UI was done pretty similar to the money, however. I added in a slide effect to the icons and text as a whole. This was all very easy to set up currently, but I will have to tie it into the visual effects on the player, such as adding a halo or horns. I don't expect this to be very difficult either though after seeing how the effects are done in Fable Anniversary. Now, to practice animations. I started adding in other animated creatures, such as basic wasps and beetles. These were pretty easy to import, however I will need to refine some of the models and textures of these creatures. Implementing animations of these creatures is in progress right now. However, I also worked on another creature, the most important creature in the game, chickens. I brought in these new chicken models, had them run around the environment idle, and allow the hero to kick the chickens. It still needs to be animated and tied to the hero's strength, however, it does work. I will also give a spoiler for my very first fully custom feature. It is still in design conception, so I'm not going to spoil the entire sequence, as several planned moments could still change. I have this over-the-top rooster warrior model. I'll be making a fight where he comes to take revenge on the hero for all the chickens kicked. The only battle element I will share is that we'll have him spawn in exploding chickens to behave very similar to tickers from Gears of War. They'll charge towards you, stop right in front of you, charge up for a second or two to detonate, and then explode. You'll need to kick these chickens into the rooster to either damage him or destroy a shield he has. While I can't share much about this, I did want to include it as it is work that was done this month. Something else I talked about last month was working through an issue with dialogue lines being indistinguishable from each other by the name of the file. Well, I actually encountered a more serious issue. Some of the audio sounds great and amazing, such as the super creepy Jack of Blades line.
And now your flesh and blood is waiting for me.
Most dialogue lines are actually 0.5 seconds shorter than they should be. I tried re-exporting them with the Wise Unpacker, but that didn't resolve the issue. It seems I need to find a new way to export audio if I want the audio from the game. This is a big blocker if I want this project to be feature complete, unless I find a better solution soon. Finally, I didn't want the hero model to be naked very long, so I started exporting several outfits from the game. I got some hard outfits like plate armor, as well as some outfits that may have cloth physics. I'm more of a bright villager outfit Chad myself. This would allow me to see the challenges with each of these types of outfits. Interestingly, they all have the same bones as the hero, so I'm curious if I can just copy the hero animations. I'm not sure, but it is looking promising as of right now. I also got the hero's horns from Fable Anniversary, which seems to be easy to implement. The halo will be a custom made particle effect I need to make myself though. Okay, so now that we got it out of the way, let me talk about what's coming up next. I'm currently working on moving across state lines, so I will be making an easier video to give everyone that will show in much more detail how the loadless environment works and looks. So I'll be showing how these regions connect seamlessly and some of the extra areas I added and will be adding environmental context to. It'll be my very first deep dive into a specific feature, so it should be pretty interesting. I'm doing this because I don't expect to have enough content done to justify an update in December. So I may do a second video focusing on a specific areas or features in that time. Then I plan to have a fourth devlog at the beginning of January. While my main goal with this channel is not to be a YouTuber at all, as I am a professional game designer first and foremost, I do want to be respectful to the people who are supporting my work. So I only want to make devlog videos that have enough content to be interesting. Anyways, thank y'all so much, and y'all take care now.